Hi everyone, and welcome back to Storytime. We're still on Roman Diary, the journey of Ileona, a young slave by Richard Platt. What? Turning back, I thought I was seeing something magical. For around the corner came an entire building, several stories in height. 100 bearers carried it on their shoulders, moving at a brisk walk. Another of these great floats followed, and then many more, so that the procession continued for another hour. Following behind was a sad sight. Thousands of chained prisoners taken captive in the war with the Dacians, walking behind their leaders. These men all knew they were living their last minutes. The crowd began to press towards the forum to see the fate that awaits those who oppose the mighty Roman Empire. But I had no taste for this, and even the boys looked pale. We hurried home as well as we could. Day 20 of Enonius. I'm soon to see my brother again. As I sat with Lydia this afternoon, Cytherea came and told me that in 1 month we should be travelling to my master's estate in the Sabine Hills. We shall stay there through the hottest weeks of the summer, and I shall have the chance to spend some time with Apollo, if his work allows. I am glad, for he's not replied to any of the letters that I've sent him. Day 22. This day our master went to sit in the Senate, which always causes much upheaval. He dreads going, but loves it when he gets there. Making Rome's laws makes him feel important, and he sees all his friends. Most are very old, and I suspect that they take secret bets on which of them will die first. It was halfway through the morning when my mistress let out a shriek. Hell's teeth! He's left his medicine behind! I looked round, and sure enough, in a niche by the door was my master's flask of sea grape wine. Ileona, take it to him, or truly he will cough his lungs up. I dashed to the forum, and rushed through the door of the Senate house without stopping. Too late, I realized that the passageway led straight into the Senate chamber. I found myself surrounded by Rome's greatest and richest men. The room fell silent. Young lady, the senator finally addressed me, I assume that your dramatic appearance is of the utmost importance, since the very future of Rome hangs upon the debate it interrupted. Scanning the rows of seats, I spotted my master and held up the flask. Senator Martius, you forgot your sea grape wine. There was another unbearable silence, and then I heard stifled snigger from a younger senator at the back. One of his neighbours guffawed, and at length laughter echoed around the chamber. When it died down, someone shouted, Take your portion, Gaius! Your coughing has been driving us all mad! As the laughter started again, a hand pulled the vial from my grip, and it was passed to my master. But I didn't wait to see him drink, but I fled the chamber as quickly as I entered it. Day 1 of the month of Iulius in the year 860. Sorry, guys, I will get there. This morning there was silence in the kitchen, which normally rings with the sound of water flowing endlessly from a pipe into the wall into the stone basin below. The aqueduct has burst once more, my mistress exclaimed when she came down. In my home, water always comes from a well, never from a spout in the wall. So she explained that our water comes from springs 4 days' journey away. It's beautiful, clear water, but to flow here it crosses deep valleys on high, arched bridges. In other places it flows underground through tunnels. Because of its length, more than 60,000 paces, the channel is always leaking. In my first week in Rome, I'd marvelled at the luxury of having water running in the house, but soon took it for granted. Now I appreciate it once more, for I have to pick up an amphora and join a long line of slaves at the fountain in the streets outside. Day 2. Little Lydia said her first Greek word today. It was mama, mum in Greek. I cannot tell my mistress, for she'd be furious if she knew I spoke Greek to the baby, and madder still if she knew that Lydia thought that I was her mother. Day 5. We still have no water in the house, and today an errand took me past the aqueduct. From a gap in its side spills a torrent of water that rushes down onto the roofs of the houses below. On the bridge I saw stonemasons at work trying to block the hole with bags full of sand. Quite a crowd had gathered to watch, and I listened as a man shouted angrily at the supervisor of the water repairs. Judging from his fine new toga, he was a very wealthy Roman. Why do the street fountains still flow when water in my house has dried up? The rich man demanded. Beggars may drink while my fountain is silent. The supervisor of the water repairs let out a deep sigh before replying in exaggerated respect. Because, sir, inside the castellum there is a barrier. Normally there's enough water to flow over it and into the pipes that lead into your fine abode. Here he made a little bow. However, if the aqueduct bursts or leaks, the level falls. Then your pipes are cut off, but the water continues to flow into the public fountains. In this way, he paused, before delivering his crushing last line. The poorest citizens in Rome do not have the free water taken from them by those who can afford to pay for a supply to their own homes. His bold response brought a round of applause, for we all expected the official would grovel to such a wealthy, important man. Sniffling defeat, he edged away, muttering, "Ah, yes, I see. Thank you for that clear explanation," as he tried to hide his embarrassment. Day 20 of Iluius. I will get that right eventually. We were supposed to leave for the country stay, but during a thunderstorm last night, lightning bolts flashed in the direction of the Sabine Hills, and everyone but me feared it was a sign that we should not travel. To check whether it was truly a bad omen, my mistress went to the temple of Jupiter Tonans, a thunder god, taking with her an offering of a chicken. Cyprus says she cannot think the omens are too serious, or she would have taken a pig at least. She came back saying it is safe to travel, so we depart tomorrow. Day 21. On this day I was woken by the snorts and braying of the donkeys and the iron-ringed wheels of the two redae they were pulling. We were to make an early start, as builders' carts are the only wagons allowed into the crowded streets during the day. "Get a move on," the driver was grumbling when I went outside. "I'll be fined if we're not through Hillgate by dawn." I helped the others load the carriages with everything that we would need on our journey. Fortunately, we had very little luggage. Most of it had been left on the train of mules yesterday. Had left on a train of mules yesterday. Then we flung ourselves inside, and so we set off, driving along High Lane in complete darkness, guided by torches on the frontmost carriage. By the time the sun rose, we had left the walls of Rome behind us, and were travelling through the fields of waving flowers. This made me think and long for Mytilene. For in the spring, hills there are a mass of different colours. These flowers, though they're in rows and all alike, and Cestius tells me they are grown from the vases of the city. In other fields, lettuce and vegetable grew, and huge flocks of chickens scratched in the dust. The heat and early start, the rocking of the carriage, and the unchanging view, for the road was dead straight, all competed to see which would make me drowsiest the first. My head flopped, and I jerked it upright a dozen times before finally falling asleep. A loud shout woke me, and Cyprus grabbed my arm. I had slumped sideways and about to fall off the carriage tailgate. I was shaking like a reed in the gale when she pulled me back inside. The road is surfaced with square stones, so that it may resist the heaviest of wagons without breaking up. Worse, a shout had come from a postman riding his horse at a gallop. Between the hard road and his horse's hoofs, my head would have been well and truly broken had I fallen. When at last we arrived at the farm, it was dark once more. Marcus and Lucullus leaped down at the end of the drive and raced ahead of us to the door, which was lit by torches. More of these cast puddles of light on a few patches of white wall and overhanging olive trees. Everything else disappeared into the inky darkness. Before we left Rome, I had dreams that I would rush around the farm until I found Apollo, but I was so exhausted I simply collapsed onto my bed and fell instantly asleep. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.